Actually, the last year is the first year we start to do the rating and performance of a governor. So the governor, but here we don't use the name of the province, but we do rate that at the 7 cities. And we also compare to the support rater between the mayor of the capital city and also the governor of that province. So the mayor basically got a higher support rater, and the governor got a much lower support rater. And if we compare the regional comparison, then we get the result that basically the coast area, the mayor in the coast area did much better work than the inland cities mayor. And also high level, the big cities mayor's performance is much better than those at low level, the small cities mayor. We are involved in more so-called pre-study of policy making, which means too many city-level policies and also some social policies. The government invited us to do more study, let us test the possible reaction from the public to some potential policy options. So actually, even the works like Beijing city planning, actually we are doing the main test among the entrepreneurs and ordinary people and also foreign investors to look at what is the potential reaction to that. But of course, we are not really got opportunity involving in so-called important policy. We involve so many areas called small policy. For example, about the pet animal policy, and also about the 爆竹, how to say 爆竹? Fireworkers, yeah, firework policy, and also education policy and social security, Medicare. When we do this, it's very interesting. If you're doing research in China, data is not enough because basically so many people, especially for officials, they don't know how to use the data. Data is just too complicated. So we got to do involving some how to strategically use the data. And finally, we involve in some lobby work. For example, we are really doing a lobby work in Beijing about how to change the pet animal policy. Because basically the fare to charge from those people is too high. So then we work together with the Animal Foundation to lobby the member of People's Congress and a member of a political consultative conference and help them to even write the bill and draft the regulation, have the regulation already, and persuade them accept that first. So then with their name to submit the bill to the People's Congress. And it passed. And it passed as a new law. And so before it's charge people like 5,000 RMB for one dog. And now it's 500. So it's actually it's not only for this government, the policy, but sometimes we are also for local Chinese company clients. They don't know too much how to use those data. So we have to work more on the strategic work about how to figure those data out. And here we just show, so basically we divide all the government work into 2 parts. One part was called the development issue, and another part would be security issue. Actually, the assessment of 2 those different issues, and for this development side, relatively higher than the security side, which means for the government department and for the Chinese, basically it's more like development government. They are functionally, and also how they could be got promoted. It's not because they are doing very good job at this side. It's because we're doing very good job at that side. So that's why they invest the resource and also they pay more attention about that. Even for the talents, the good talents will be assigned to this side, not this side. And also those people when they pick up a so-called important position, those important people will pick up the position this side. And so this is a very important angle to understand the Chinese government, the mechanism. Of course, for the current administration, for Hu Jintao, Wen Jiabao, for administration, they are trying to balancing the development and so-called security things. So they try to shift the government focus partly from this side to that side. But I think we need to spend time to do that. And also,
so this page doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, it's not here. It's a new one put there. Thank you. And and also, many people, we do know that people concerned about corruption. But also, corruption is two types of corruption: development corruption and security corruption. The corruption, if in this side, means taking money from people's pocket. And for that side, because in China, development issues is heavily dominated by government. Usually, for this side of corruption, it's not directly take money from people's pocket. It's directly take the money from government deal. So that's why, for example, all the freeway construction, I would say all the freeway construction will be corrupted. But people are not really complaining about that because better than nothing. You build up a freeway, and maybe you take like 30% of money to your pocket. But anyway, the freeway is built up, and we use that. And you use the money, but I cannot directly perceive. So it's a very typical way of Chinese corruption. And for foreign investors, there are so many foreign investors, you have experience investing in China. And it's very few for you really, somebody want money from you and say, look, if you give money and I do things for you. It's not that way. It's basically you can see, if you see the process, it's basically clean and honest to some degree. Sometimes efficiency is not that high, but it's higher than in Russia and India. That be for sure. But the main way, it's the government officials making money from the build up that economic zone. The development zone, they build up that, develop the land, and they're making money from that way. It's not directly from your own pocket. So that's also another angle to understand the corruption in China. Social issue study. The social issue study, we really depend on the different, in a different place and at a different time, we select different social issues, try to do more tracking study, also a deeper study. For example, the public security, crime control. Of course, there are many ways to monitor what the police force, their performance, but we really do that so-called perception of public security in different cities. This is the data from Beijing. If you read the report presented by the Bureau of Public Security, every year it said basically the mainstream is good and we still have some problem. That's all. Every year is like the same. But if you look at the curve, the people's perception about public security, which is different. In some years it's really bad. In some years it's relatively good. Last year is not that good, and the year before last year, because it's good, it is not good, so the government put attention to it, then it become better, and then decline again. So the problem is that we basically can see that kind of the way of change. But if we can find that problem out and take it as a problem seriously to the news media and to the People's Congress and to other way to express that result, there possibly could be put a kind of a public pressure to government and draw their attention to that point. We also do studies like new rich people, how they view the society, the policy. Recently, we just passed the property law, which is highly welcomed and appreciated by the new rich class, also by middle class. Basically, it's protect their right of the ownership of their house, apartment. But relatively, when we do a study, we can see that even the rich group themselves, they see the government is pretty friendly to them, which means the policy, the overall trends of the policy was pro-rich. And if we look at the structure of the People's Congress and also the Consultative Conference, the more private entrepreneurs would be selected as a member. Very few people, almost no people from the white collar, from the migrants, from the rural, the peasants, from white collar, no people from that class. But there are more and more people who was picked up from the private entrepreneurs and to be the member of those very important political organizations.